From DeLoreans to Mandalorians, nerds like a lot of things, but there's something they love above all else, that is correcting people. This is Actually. To my right, 3 former Actually champions returning to see if they can reclaim glory yet again. How are you feeling?
Feeling great. I've yet to taste defeat, and I plan on keeping it that way.
I shared my win last time around,
That's
so
true.
I feel like this is my opportunity
to prove yourself.
To prove myself, exactly.
To grasp a win firmly and securely.
Or to just, follow my face completely, which is also fine. So.
Well, joining us today, we have Siobhan Thompson.
That's me.
Ify Nwadiwe, and Emma Fyffe.
Hello.
There's a couch full of glasses over here.
true. Yeah.
No.
What a bunch of nerds.
A bunch of dorks. Well, with these nerds, we're gonna ask some nerd questions. You've all played before, you've all won before, or tied for first, so you know how this works. But if you're new at home, these are incorrect statements, but the things you like, it's up to you to correct me. All your questions must be preceded by the phrase, actually, and you can interrupt me whenever you want. Now, the winner of this round will go on to play the winner of last round and the winner of next round in a final tournament of champions. Are you guys ready to jump into it?
Let's do it.
Get going here. In the 1954 movie Godzilla, we are introduced to the creature of the same name, an enormous fire-breathing amphibious lizard-like monster that emerges from the sea.
One of those is wrong.
Actually doesn't breathe fire.
That's correct. Can you be more specific?
Yeah. He breathes lightning, right?
No, but
Actually, he breathes like they're like sort of like laser beams.
you're both describing what it looks like, right? Although you aren't describing what it actually is. I'll give it to Ify unless Siobhan, you have to know exactly what it is he breathes.
Actually, he breathes the power of the earth.
It is it's like a real Final Fantasy situation where it's like, for too long you have abused the earth, and I, Godzilla, am here to prove you wrong. Well, Ify, you're correct. He doesn't actually breathe fire. It's actually an atomically charged, nuclear-powered heat ray.
That sounds suspiciously like a laser beam.
I was going to say that, but you said that, so I was like, nah, you're right. You're right. It doesn't. Yeah, that's not a
lasers
laser.
aren't nuclear. That's I think it's the nuclear element.
Yeah, but see, my
really...
lasers then. 'Cause I got a laser guy.
Let me tell you about my guy. He
Yeah,
can
he
make
got
some great
lasers.
lasers.
You know, you can get the big ones, them Godzilla lasers, or I got the lasers that annoy your teacher.
Or your cat.
That's what Godzilla actually breathes. It's just like a big laser pointer, and like it's just like goalies in soccer games who are pissed off and cats and stuff. Just like, we hate this. Well, that is a point for Ify, and we'll move on to our next question.
Okay.
In H.G. Wells' The Time Machine, the time traveler, who is never given a name, initially embarks on his journey through time in order to stop his wife from being killed, but winds up traveling over 800,000 years into the future after humanity has evolved into 2 distinct species called Morlocks and Eloi.
Actually, it's not 800,000 years into the future.
Incorrect. At least when he visits the Morlocks and the Eloi, that is a little bit more than 800,000.
A little bit more than 800,000 years.
Actually, it has nothing to do with his wife dying. He just thinks it's cool.
That's correct, yeah.
Hell yeah, I was like, I don't remember a wife.
In
one of the movies,
in the most recent
there
movie
is,
adaptation, they make that his motivation for traveling through time, ignoring the much more logical motivation to travel through time, which is that it's sick
cool.
as hell. Yeah.
They're like, let's just fridge a wife. Like, it's not a nerdy movie if we don't throw a wife in the fridge.
Yeah, it's like he can't just be a scientist who thinks he knows how to travel through time and wants to do it. It's like,
well, that's Hollywood execs for you. Like, nah, we don't think time traveling is tight enough. It's pretty tight.
Cool. This next question is about comics. In Captain America: The Winter Soldier, we briefly meet an oddly friendly agent of Hydra named Bob. Although not explicitly stated, fans believe his character to be Bob Dabalina, aka Agent X, a character who eventually defects from Hydra to become a somewhat comical superhero. Yes, Ify.
It wasn't in Captain America: Winter Soldier.
That's correct. Yeah. Do you know where it is?
Was it Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
It was not.
Actually, it wasn't in Captain
Oh
America:
my
Winter
God.
Soldier. I'm so sorry, but I've never stolen a point before, and guess what? It feels really good.
Hey, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta get in on that.
Oh my goodness.
Do you know where it's from?
I have no fucking clue.
Actually, it was Captain America one of the Civil War comics?
No,
Great, great
that's
guess,
incorrect.
though.
I'll give the point to Siobhan for stealing it out from Ify.
Sorry, man.
It wasn't from Captain America: Winter Soldier. Bob appears in Deadpool, actually.
Oh,
in Deadpool.
I mean, I feel like Bob is a good Deadpool-y kind of
Yeah,
name.
it's definitely.
It's not really on tone, I feel like, for Captain America.
Yeah, it should be like this is a dour thriller about how our governments can betray us. And here's Bob Dabalina. Well, that is a point for Siobhan for snatching it away from Ify.
Look,
You know, I
the
like to play
championship game is
the fair
coming, and
game.
you gotta
Yeah,
get
I like
those
to
points
get out
wherever
there,
you can.
play fair and clean. You know, not everybody do that. That's all good, you know?
All right, well, we're gonna move right along. In T.H. White's The Once and Future King, King Pellinor is engaged in an endless hunt of the questing beast, a creature described as having the head and neck of a snake, the body of a wolf, and the feet of a hart. Ify.
Doesn't have feet of a heart. It's like feet of a.
You gotta say the words, man. I'm
You
gonna
did not
steal
say
it
them,
from you
man.
again.
Actually, he doesn't have the feet of a heart. Has the feet of talons of an eagle.
That is incorrect.
Actually, it doesn't have the head of a snake.
No, it does have the head of a
God
snake.
damn.
Yeah.
Actually, it doesn't have the body of whatever the thing was that you said.
Are you gonna say what I said?
If you read the question again.
That is correct.
Cool.
I'm actually, because I actually was paying attention, it does not have the body of a wolf.
Yes, that is what I'm going for, but I will give it to Emma since you're both.
I'm out here paying attention to you. Okay, it's all right.
I'll give it to you if you can tell me what it has the body of.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna go inside my heart
Yep.
as a nerd and think back to all the fantasy stuff that I've ingested in my life, and I will say that it does not have the body of a wolf. Instead, it has the body of
This feels
a
spiritual.
tiger.
It's not a tiger. It's not a tiger, but you are very close.
Is it a lion?
Actually, it's a lion.
It has the haunches of a lion, which is
that haunch.
very weird. It has the haunches of a lion and the body of a leopard. Is how it's described.
That was a good guess.
Yeah. Tiger was actually pretty close. We'll go ahead and we'll give you that point there, Emma, for the questing beast. Some people believe that the questing beast is just a giraffe. If you break down the description, it's like the neck of a snake, the body of a leopard, the feet of a hart, and it's like, was he just hunting a giraffe the whole time?
To be fair, if you were somebody in like medieval England and you saw a giraffe, you would think it was a monster.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
Well, that was a point for Emma for forcing her way into finding that thing. And this brings us to our first shiny question of the game. This game we're calling Not the Droid We're Looking For. Now, in a second, we're going to put a bunch of some things on the screen up here. One of them doesn't belong in the group. So the first person who can identify the one that does not belong here will get the point.
Okay. Actually, I think it's the Ereshigal in the upper corner.
No, Ereshigal does belong here in this group. Siobhan is...
Actually, I don't think it's Heimdallr.
That's what I was gonna say.
He's not a death god.
That's correct. Heimdallr is not a god of death or the underworld.
That
The rest
makes
of these
sense.
are all
Yep.
death and underworld gods. Heimdallr is not.
Reading my brain.
I just didn't put together that they were all death gods.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I
part
was
of
just
the
gonna pick Heimdall because it was like, nah, that's the dude who controls the gates.
he is a
Idris
god.
Elba
A lot of
on
them
this
do
shit.
kind of control gates, yeah.
Admittedly, a Norse god, which like their immortality is pretty weak.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Accidentally.
oh.
I'm trying to
I'm
practice.
just practicing, making
Yeah,
sure I
just
can get in
practicing.
there
I'm
on
getting out
time.
here getting beat out.
That is a point for Siobhan. 3-1-1.
Wow.
It's the 3-1-1
The
here.
3-1-1.
The 3-1-1.
We'll move.
I'm shook.
Well, mistakes were made. I'm not saying who made them, just saying that mistakes were made. And you caught them. Here's some of our favorite corrections from you, the viewers.
At So's Red says, actually the Moomins are originally from a comic strip, not a book, and they're Finnish, which is not technically Scandinavian. I should have said Nordic. At Silence of a Gamer says, actually, you mentioned that the Final Fantasy VII Shinra reactors harvest Mako energy. In actuality, they harvest the planet's life stream, which is then refined into Mako. 1 point for Silence of a Gamer, who said more than their name would imply. And from our exclusive Dropout Discord, the McBeer says, actually, when talking about Manticore in Game of Thrones, you called them poisonous, which means the poison is ingested. When actually, they are venomous because they inject their poison. Other people had this correction too, but I saw McBeer's first, so you get the point.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy books are full of spaceships powered by absurd technologies. One such ship is the Bistromath, which achieves near-instantaneous interstellar travel with its infinite improbability drive, a reality-altering tech allowing the spaceship to pass through every point in the universe simultaneously. Siobhan.
Actually, it's not called the Bistromat. It's called something else, and I don't remember what it is. But the infinite improbability drive is not in that ship.
That is correct. Do you? I'll give it to you unless.
I mean, it's the ship that Zaphod Beeblebrook stole.
Yep. I don't think Ify or Emma. They're both shaking their heads over here.
I'm just thinking that Mos Def movie. And Yasin Bey. And I'm like, oh man, I need to see that again. Yeah, so I guess you got it.
You should listen to the original radio plays because those are actually the original good
Is
best
Yasin
ones.
Bey in the original
He
radio
is
play?
He
not.
should
Then I'm
be.
probably not.
If he's not gonna listen to it, not interested.
Baka, 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 weesa. Oh, can we do that?
Yeah.
I know.
We're
we
immediately
can't
shut down by the
license.
lawyers. Yeah. You made fun of us. We'll show you.
How dare you?
We'll give you the
Very
point.
litigious.
You identified pretty much everything in there. The ship is the Heart of Gold.
Heart of Gold.
We also would have accepted, the Bistromath is also a ship. We would have also accepted that the Bistromath runs on the Bistromathics drive, depending on which thing you're trying to correct here. But yes, the Heart of Gold is the ship that runs on the infinite improbability drive.
See what I mean about iffy questions on Emma days and Siobhan questions on
Emma
her
questions
day?
on my day, and today is not my day.
To be fair, Siobhan totally stole one of those points from you.
I
she
did
did.
steal one of them, but I would
almost
still
forgot.
be winning.
But
Look,
now there's a
man,
grudge.
I have
I've had points stolen from me. That's the game,
All right, but
man.
it wasn't me, because I play fair. I play nice. I play neat.
Well, I have a feeling this next one might be more of a Siobhan question too, but we'll see what happens.
See, now I feel guilty.
In Monty Python and the Holy Grail, the knights who say "ni" refuse to let Arthur and his knights pass unless they obtain a shrubbery. After obtaining the shrubbery, the knights who say "ni" demand he find a second shrubbery to be placed next to but slightly higher than the first, and to then cut down the mightiest tree in the forest with a herring.
Oh, there's something wrong in that?
Oh, there's something wrong. Yeah, iffy.
Actually, is it because the shrubbery is not burning in the version that you're talking about?
No, that's
Oh, okay. Well, you know.
Actually, they want the second shrubbery to be a little bit lower than the first one.
no.
Actually,
Yeah.
when he comes back
Yes.
with the shrubbery, they're no longer the knights
That's
who say
correct.
"me."
Yes, what are they?
They're the knights who say "Tiki, tiki, tiki, coffee."
It's close.
kinda like that.
Yeah, they're after the second time they're
something like that.
they're no longer the knights who say
made
"ni."
an effort.
They're the knights who say "eki eki eki patang zoo boy."
Yeah.
I am so glad someone got that. I thought for sure that would stump everyone. But yes, technically speaking, they're no longer the knights who say "ni" the second time. Very good. Point for Emma. Incredibly nitpicky. I'm very sorry. And what
that's a good question,
What-
and don't
That's a very good
apologize.
You know what? This only worked great because one of you got it. Otherwise, it would have just been me being like, here's the bad news. I have a very tiny technicality. Good job. Point for Emma.
I'm glad that I could make your day.
The next question is a video game question.
Oh, fucking final.
Wart, the main boss in Super Mario Bros. 2 and leader of the gang, the 8-Bits, is a giant frog known as Mamu in Japan. While other Mario villains like Bowser and Wario have appeared across multiple games, Wart has only appeared in Super Mario Bros. 2 and its assorted reissues.
Actually, in Japan, he's not called Mamu.
No, he is called Mamu
Okay,
in Japan.
listen.
But yeah,
Stretch
iffy.
it.
Actually, he has appeared in other games. I'm trying to think of which one it is. Not Mario Party.
No, you are correct though. He has
Yeah.
appeared in other games, and I'll give it to you unless someone can tell you the game he appears in.
Actually, he's in Super Mario Odyssey.
No, he's not.
Good guess.
But a good guess. There's a lot of callbacks to the past. now.
Actually, he's in Donkey Kong Country?
He's not, but it's not as crazy a guess as you might think. We'll go ahead. We'll give Ify the point for this one. Wart, under the name Mamu, actually appears in Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. He appears with a bunch of other frogs.
Oh, snap! Yes.
In that's the Game Boy one, isn't that the game?
Yeah.
Link's
That's the
Awakening?
Game Boy.
Yeah, the Game Boy one.
Yeah, so Mario and Zelda are maybe in the
same
universe?
He is a multi-dimensional frog that can jump across time and space.
That's true.
Also,
But we already know Link can jump through
listen,
time.
I really like this idea of there being like a Nintendo like expanded universe.
Nintendo verse.
We'll connect them all. We'll get there. It's like, and that was also Doki Doki Panic, so that means we can tie that in there.
I just want Zelda and Wario to have a hot, steamy romance. I mean, that's what we all want. The fandom demands it.
I've met a new man. Wow.
Do you have a butthole? Then this is the ad for you. You're gonna love it. Introducing the latest in butt cleaning technology, water! Get with the program and start cleaning your butt with a bidet. Bidets have been around for centuries, and before now, stupidly expensive. But with the brand new Hello Tushy 3.0 modern bidet attachment, butt luxury is within reach. That's right, it's stylish, it's eco-friendly, it's easy to install, and it's affordable. And it's got other fun features with fun names like the Smart Spray automatic self-cleaning nozzle. I mean, this thing cleans itself. Is there any hole this thing can't clean? It's got a schmutz shield, that's just fun to say, but also makes it easy to sanitize, because the knobs are antimicrobial. It attaches right to the toilet you already have, assuming you already have a toilet. No extra electricity, no extra plumbing, and it cuts toilet paper usage by 80%, which means this baby pays for itself if you're shitting as much as I do. We don't need to talk about how much I'm shitting, right? That's weird, right? Plus, every Hello Tushy bidet attachment comes with a 60-day risk-free guarantee and a 12-month warranty. Start cleaning your butt right. Go to hellotushy.com/actually and get 10% off. That's right, 10% off plus free shipping. This is a special offer just for my viewers. That's hellotushy.com/actually to get 10% off and free shipping. One more time, that's hellotushy.com/actually. Back to the show.
And this brings us to our second shiny question. This is a game called Fictionary. I'm going to give you the name of a monster or creature from folklore or stories, mythology, and it's up to you to draw that creature. Your creature is the Wolpertinger.
Oh.
The Wolpertinger.
Wolpertinger?
Okay.
All right. Great. We'll go one at a time down the line. Siobhan, you want to walk us through your Wolpertinger? What is the Wolpertinger?
The Wolpertinger, as everybody knows,
As everyone knows.
including me, definitely, has the body of a cow and just the head of a snake, no neck. Also the neck of a cow, and it says, "Hiss moo." A Wolpertinger.
I love it. I think we can... that is not a Wolpertinger, but I would be very happy to see this creature appear in stories and D&D campaigns. If anyone out there wants to add the cake, cow steak, a cake,
Sure, it's a cake.
a snow. If you want to add those to your D&D campaigns or anything you want, if you want to send us fan art of your cow snake, please do. Ify, why don't you show us your Wolpertinger?
So the Wolpertinger, which I've grown to know from World of Warcraft, which may have helped or hurt me, which is only available during the Brewfest event, where you have to drink enough beer and you start to see Wolpertingers. And so it has bunny ears, sharp teeth, and it has like a weird tail. World of Warcraft graphics don't really display which animal the tail comes from, but I know it's not a bunny one because bunny ones are fluffy.
Cool. You're close enough to, and there are different imaginations of Wolpertingers, and you've got a couple of the features there that I'm looking for. So I'm going to say you're close enough. You're going to, and that you'll get it. I'll run through the full list of things that I might see on a Wolpertinger at the end here. But yeah, we'll we'll say that'll be a point.
Are you sure he's close enough?
Oh, well, let's see, because I could be convinced otherwise. Let me get a look at.
Because listen, let me tell you about the Wolpertinger. It's the head of a very majestic rooster. monster, but also has 3 eyes.
Okay.
It has the body of like a wild cat. Take your pick.
Sure, I can see
and
how fuzzy
yeah,
it is,
it's a
yeah.
lion, you know, and it's got the like pouch because cats get this like pouch thing so they can crisscross their back legs all the way.
Sure.
That's a cat fact. Also, it has got a weird tail thing. I mean, if he nailed it on the weird tail,
Weird tail thing.
100%. The feet of an iguana and the wings of a dragon.
Okay. There are parts of this that aren't far off, if I'm being totally honest, but I think the collection of wrongness probably outweighs some of the rightness that's there. So I don't think I will give you the point for that. Wolpertinger. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what a sort of traditional Wolpertinger looks like as a non-World of Warcraft version.
Oh, it's so
this
cute.
this is
Look at y'all. Look at your boy. Because also, like, my drawing almost looks like it. I didn't know I was that good of an artist until I saw it. Damn.
I love how yours has like really buff baby legs.
yeah,
Well,
that's
you
the
know,
real
everything-
strong.
Everything I draw is buff. It's the buff energy coming through me into my
Listen,
art.
I got the cute fluffiness in the
That's true.
body.
You do have you've got the
of
fuzziness
mine.
there, and you've got the wings, which Ify
wings,
doesn't
yeah.
have.
Yeah.
So, like I said, there's a little bit of like Wolpertingers
The
are.
bunny head was maybe key though.
Yeah, the bunny head and the fangs are important things that Ify got there. So these are German in origin. They're sort of like jackalopes, and they're like kind of taxidermy
Oh,
monsters
yeah.
of like things that sort of get combined.
That makes sense.
Well, that is a point for Ify for your Wolpertingers. Did you notice something that we got wrong? Well, good for you. If you feel like telling us, you can tweet at @actuallyshow, and we might feature your correction in a future episode. Moving on. On much of the main continent of Discworld, people celebrate a winter holiday called Hogswatch that is in many ways similar to Christmas. Celebrated on December 25th, people put a decorated oak tree in a pot and await a visit from the Hogfather, who drives a sleigh pulled by wild boars to deliver presents. Emma.
His sleigh is not pulled by wild boars.
Do you want to venture a
Oh,
guess?
actually, it's not pulled by wild boars. It's pulled by pigs.
It is pulled by wild boars. I just wanted
Oh,
to see if you could
damn
give a nice guess.
Actually, it isn't celebrated on December 25th.
That's correct.
Boom.
Do you know when it is?
Always with the gotta be all right.
I gotta see if you at least
Okay,
venture a guess. You know.
I was gonna guess December 23rd.
That's incorrect, but I'll give it to you unless someone else can get it.
Actually, it's celebrated on the winter solstice, December 21st.
No, it's not.
Oh.
It's not.
Actually, they have made up months, and I don't remember what they are.
You're close, but you're that is
You gotta
not
get it all
specific
the way.
enough.
Yeah, I know.
Now it's tricking me.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll,
I know.
You got me
I can remember
once. You
it.
got me once, but I'm watching you with this eye.
we will give Ify the point for that. Hogswatch Night is celebrated on December 32nd, which is a day that does not exist
it
in
does
our
not
world,
exist.
but does exist in Discworld.
Yeah.
So you were on the right track, Siobhan, that it was sort of a fictional time,
Yes.
but the month is right, the day is wrong.
I read that book like 5 times.
Yeah, no, I couldn't come up with it either.
I don't actually know if it's mentioned in the book or if it's something that became like a sort of supplemental thing, because there's been like
Yeah.
movie adaptations and things.
There was like a 2-part mini series, I
Yeah,
want to say.
One of those like BBC Christmas
Yeah.
situations.
Yeah, I just remember Michelle Dockery played Death's granddaughter, whose name is Susan.
Yeah.
I love Susan so
She's
much.
great, yeah.
Well, all correct facts won't get you a point. The
Not
point still
yet.
goes to Ify. And what is it, 4-4-2 now?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't know what we'll do if this ties at the end of this in terms of moving on, so hopefully that
wow.
won't happen.
Dance off.
Yeah.
Dance off.
Ah!
In Doctor Who, wealthy and elite beings gather on the space station Platform 1 to observe Earth being destroyed by the sun in the year 5 billion. Among these beings is the villainous Lady Cassandra O'Brien. Delta 17, an alien depicted as a stretched out piece of skin with a face that has been mounted on a metal frame and must be regularly moisturized.
Actually, the Earth is not being destroyed by the sun. It's being destroyed by humans who are just have destroyed the environment.
It's a good guess, but that's not it. The Earth is not being destroyed in the year 5 billion. It's being destroyed in the year 2040 by
Yes.
us.
Actually, one of those words in her name is incorrect.
No.
Oh, fuck.
Ify.
Actually, it's not a frame that's holding her up. It's like a.
She's clipped into a frame. That's like.
No, I'm calling it here. You
No.
can. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
Actually, it's not a space station.
No. No.
The
Actually.
word and should be replaced with the
I
word
heard
also.
or. Actually, Lady Cassandra isn't an alien. She's a human who has undergone 708 plastic surgery operations to extend
Everyone
her.
forgot that small. Because
Yeah.
I thought you meant like she was an immigrant.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Green card.
Yeah.
Exactly. Come on, man.
No points. Well, this is our last shiny question of the game. This is a game called Hear Me Roar. So we're going to play sound effects for you.
Oh.
It's up to you to identify that sound. These are constructed languages, So these are languages that have been invented for movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of stuff.
All right.
Cool. Whoever can get the most will get the point.
Here we go.
All right.
Actually, that's parcel tongue.
That is parcel tongue. That is parcel tongue. Let's play that second constructed language. Yeah. Siobhan.
Oh, that is some Star Wars bullshit.
It might be. Can you be more specific?
Yes, it's whatever Jabba the Hutt speaks.
It is. You want to venture a guess on what Jabba the
Goddamn.
Hutt speaks?
Give it to Emma.
Are you sure? Are you sure you know what it
He speaks Hutt. It's the language Hutt.
You're so
where he's
close.
from. It's in the
You're
name.
so close.
Huttish.
Oh.
Hutties.
It is Huttese.
yeah.
I do. And you clearly
That's what
knew
I was
that.
gonna say,
Do you?
yeah.
Do you? Are you fine giving it to Siobhan? I feel like she.
I mean, listen, I feel like at this point, I'm the only one that has no chance of winning. So I would like to
You would like.
keep that,
All right.
if possible.
Give me
Yeah.
a point.
Emma
she
clearly
she
knew
knew
it.
it, and I made it up.
That's fair. All right.
Full disclosure, Emma's on a Star Wars show. So like,
To be fair, you did open with "This is some Star Wars bullshit." You
I did
could've-
open with this is some
That's
Star
true.
Wars bullshit.
right.
I immediately threw myself and the whole Star Wars franchise under the
That's
bus.
true. All right. Well, let's play that third constructed language. What's this?
Oh. Actually, that is orc-ish.
It is not Turkish. No. Siobhan.
Actually, is this from what's the name of the movie with the pyramids?
Prince of
Lawrence?
Egypt.
Yeah. Lawrence of
Love Arabia. Is this the made-up language of Arabic?
Yeah. I think you're talking about Stargate.
Yes,
Which I'm
Stargate.
only going to say because it's wrong. So it's not.
I
It's not
was
Stargate.
also leaning towards Stargate,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
like
good.
there's something Stargate-ish.
I'm gonna say no one got this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
This is Na'vi from Avatar.
Oh my gosh, that was gonna
well,
be my
that's
guess.
why none of us
And
knew.
then,
Yeah.
but I don't remember them snarling
Listen,
that much
look,
in the
look,
movie.
Nobody remembers that movie.
Look, they're not all
Exactly.
gonna be. They're all gonna be gimmies. I'm gonna have to throw
listen,
some.
I love how James Cameron likes to pretend like Avatar is still relevant.
Yes, the
Like,
fact it's like it's.
I mean, we're all excited for those 5 movies that he's concurrently
Oh,
he's
making.
truly
Oh, yeah.
forcing it into existence. Like I don't know if we
Yeah.
really want this.
Like, nah, y'all have been waiting for it.
Yeah, we're opening a theme park. We got a bunch more movies coming.
It
12
definitely
years
wasn't. It was
later.
because the only 3D movie that was ever made, and so that's why people saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's hear the fourth fake language here. What do we got here?
Sapso, Veni, Bidet,
Kudra, Rensgazi.
Velna, Isa Popsum, Zeebeldoob.
Oh my gosh.
Ify.
I know this is Mass Effect. And I have to say, shit, I am losing the race here. But it is Korean?
No, nor is it from Mass Effect.
God
unfortunately.
damn it.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was like a very Korean sound bite.
Yeah.
Oh, it's from that language from Fifth Element.
No.
Yeah, no, all right,
was
I'm
a
done.
good-
I'm
Actually, is
super
this
wrong.
the language that the Sims speak?
It is, yes. This is Simlish. This is the language of the
Yo,
Sims.
What packs you got in there? Because I've never heard a Sim with that deep voice. Like, what was that?
We've got the evil expansion pack.
it's like-
We open a gate to hell.
Got
The demon overlord and
the
Sims.
Lovecraftian nightmare
Yeah,
expansion
no.
pack where all the Sims are slowly driven
Look, I
mad
listen-
and just
I love
wander
it.
into
Look,
the
I
pool.
listen to Sims speak when I constantly make them make whoopee, and none of my
not what they
Sims
sound like.
ever sound like that.
Well, you're not doing it right. Okay, well that one goes to Siobhan for identifying Simlish. Let's play that next language.
Merjanan, ishvin hasaja hishiseres. Man an veloshak ash aka. Man anhavjak jin at
Siobhan,
Actually, is this Klingon?
it's not Klingon, no. No.
So many of them sound so
They do.
Like
They
guttural.
just
Yeah.
sound, everybody just sounds
like
angry all the
racistly
time.
making fun of Middle Eastern languages.
Well, I think it is like I think people there's so many constructed languages that have like that are just like loaded with apostrophes, and I think it is because like for English speakers, things with like glottal stops and like glottal fricatives and stuff like just sound so foreign. It's like clearly that's what aliens gotta speak.
Obviously.
You know? Obviously, but this is not Klingon, no.
We don't know.
Actually, is it Elven?
It is not.
No.
No. That's a guttural elf. That's an elf
Look,
at a rough
you're
day.
playing guttural Sims, so now everything's off.
Actually, this is a troglodyte.
No. All right, I'm gonna say no one got this one. You were in the right universe, Siobhan. This is
Dang.
Dothraki. This is Dothraki from Game of
close.
Thrones. Game of
See,
Thrones.
once again, like I said in the last episode, I read the books.
Yeah.
And I don't need people
true, you don't hear
acting.
it.
I got actors in my head,
Yep.
and they do everything.
You don't read the book on tape?
No, not at all.
Nope.
All right. Well, let's
my eyes.
we've got one more sound.
Okay.
This is 2 for Emma. One. Siobhan's got 1. So Emma can either clinch it or Siobhan can tie it up. Let's play this last sound.
Meye tarodis ani him hind paliv.
This is a weird guess, mostly because I didn't see this movie, but I've assumed something about this movie. Actually,
What is this gonna be? This is
It's
gonna be
about to
something
be
crazy.
literally
Genuinely
insane.
worried about this.
Is this the language the dragons spoke in The Hobbit?
No.
Because I assumed he wasn't speaking English, because dragons shouldn't speak English.
No. In fact, in The Hobbit, Smaug does speak
Speak English.
English. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fake news.
Actually, is it the dragon language in Earthsea?
No, it's not. It's not.
Glad you bounced it off of mine, too.
Actually,
Yeah.
is this Romulan?
It's not Romulan. Okay, I'm gonna say no one got this one. However, Ify and Siobhan, you were both very close in that this is sort of dragon language here. This is Dovazul, which is the language in Skyrim that the Dragonborn and the dragons.
There you
I
go,
play
you were on
with
the
the
right path.
I
You
play
read
with
the books.
yeah,
Plays with
I
the
didn't
sound off.
read. Yeah, no, I play with the sound pack where everyone has the voices from GTA 5. So actually, in this scene, it was actually Leroy like, man, Franklin, we gotta get this goal, man.
You
So
play
there
the
was no way for me
GTA
to
5
know.
sound pack and like the
Yeah.
Thomas the Tank Engine dragon hack.
yeah,
and
you
it's
know.
just your Skyrim game is just a fucking mess of
Yeah,
hacks.
so there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Actually, yeah, no, I haven't. I have Skyrim, but I have yet to play or beat it.
I started playing it and I had already just played Fallout 4 and I was like, but this is just the same game, but
Yeah.
they're just
Yeah.
a different. You're cheating. I just paid $60 for the same goddamn
Welcome to
game.
video games, where
Thieves.
our favorite
Thieves.
games are just reskinned in different genres.
Give me the
Terrible.
same thing again.
But this time with dragons.
Yeah.
Like GTA, wait till you see it on horses with cowboys.
Emma, you were able to identify 2 of those. Siobhan, you got 1. The other 3 were busts, so that shiny point goes to Emma.
Yay.
I mean, 4, 4, 3. What a
Tight game.
close game. Our last question, as always, concerns real life skills.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice to be debt-free? The most mathematically effective method for paying off debt is the avalanche method, in which you list your debts by the amount owed, paying the minimum amount due on all debts except the biggest, which you focus on paying down in the largest installments you can afford. Once that debt is eliminated, you move on to your next biggest debt until all have been paid off, you lucky dog you.
Actually, the avalanche, you start with the biggest, but what you would pay the biggest, you pay the next in line.
Well, I don't know what you're saying. No.
So like you
Sounds like you're describing exactly what you just read.
instead of I basically
Go ahead,
you
go ahead.
you would take the minimum payment of the biggest and use it to pay the that's what you would pay.
You're
the
using your
small.
debts to pay off your other debts? Is that what you're saying? No, that's
You're
not-
basing what you pay based off
yeah.
other debts.
You open a bunch of credit cards and you use those to pay off your existing
It's
debt.
like a check that you didn't get yet.
Yeah.
It's what a credit card is. It's great.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, you start with the biggest debt, but you go like back and forth. And you pay the lower ones.
bounce
Yeah, you
around.
just
One,
bounce
Small
back and
one,
forth.
medium one.
Just like an avalanche.
I clearly know all about finance and avalanches.
No, that is
Okay.
incorrect as well.
Actually, while that may be effective, I don't think it's the most mathematically effective way to pay your
The
debt.
most mathematically effective way is to just have a bunch of money and pay it all off at once.
Exactly.
Marry
That's
well,
not-
marry well, boys
Have
and
rich
girls.
parents.
That would be great. That's not what we're going for.
Oh, here's where it is.
Yeah.
It's not called the avalanche method.
Oh, no.
It's definitely called the avalanche.
I'm gonna say no one gets the, oh, yeah, Siobhan?
You list it by not the amount owed, but how much the interest is. And so how much the debt is
Oh, shit,
growing
she just
is
got
what
it.
it is.
That's correct.
Oh,
You pay it off. You
dang.
pay it off by interest rate, putting on the highest
You just
rate of the loan.
Used common sense.
Yeah.
That's not how this works.
Yeah, that is it. That real life skill
Dang.
pushing you up over the top.
Why couldn't
Wow,
you get it
you'd
right,
think
Emma?
that by
Why couldn't you get it right?
Hey, sometimes that's the most important one. There
Or
is.
you could move countries and leave your student loan debt in the country that you left.
Try and catch me, coppers.
Somebody else might have done that. Who knows? It could have been
I
anybody.
won't say who. Some other person.
I'm excited for that email when this episode drops.
We've been avid subscribers of Dropout, and we noticed what you did. That is a point for Siobhan. Siobhan slides into.
Well, you should feel good. You
First.
should feel good. You're the
You know
first
what?
person to make me taste defeat. I've been undefeated until this moment.
Yep.
I stole it from you.
Yeah,
and
just
I feel
imagine if
all
you had said,
about it.
actually.
If you had said, actually.
Oh no, I probably would have I wouldn't have been as motivated and probably would have lost eventually somewhere else.
Well, that is our game today. Join us next time for even more pedantic corrections here on Actually.